Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. It is the 28th of February, 2014. We are 2 days away from the 1st of March. Unbelievable. Okay, as you can see, you've got a nice little bit of music now to start. I did this a while ago and just sort of put it around, and I had issues with copyright things, even though it came from Canva, so I don't know. Anyway, so what was I going to say? There was something I wanted to say. Okay, yeah, I've upped my bit rate as well. I've doubled it. So because of my fast internet speed, I was just looking at ways of improving the stream. So hopefully it should be better quality. But I'll have to leave that for you guys to decide. And I'll have a look a bit later. So, why isn't that working? Okay, so hey Chris, how you doing? Can you hear me okay, Chris? Yes, excellent, brilliant. Okay, market has just officially opened. So let's have a little look here. So there's a big bullish bar off that bottom of the range there on the NQ. So let's have a look here. It looks like two legs up. So are we going up or are we going down? It's hard to say. I'd say we're more likely coming up. We've pushed off the bottom, so I think this is a possibility. So let's have a little look. High or low on the NQ. Let's see if we get something here. Exponential, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on here, in all fairness, because we've had this channel down and you can really fit that into one down channel. So you may say it's an overshoot, but let's include it for now. So we've had a push up and we're going a bit sideways, so it's hard to know whether we're going up or down. 1 minute I think we're going down. Hey Jay, how you doing? Speedy, how are you, buddy? 1 minute we think we're going down, but then we're finding some support here, so it's a bit hard to say. Kanan, how you doing? So it's a bit, you know, on the ES it's a bit sideways. Here it's a bit sideways as well, but we've had sort of a couple of legs up, so we could have a couple of legs down. It's a bit hard to say, really. In fact, I'm just going to remove that for now because I think it's more sideways. Let's leave that like that for a minute. Put that there. Yeah, that makes it corresponds with that really. So we'll see. So I've got it there as a channel, so that may be an overshoot. But I notice Mac sometimes just does it like that. So it's a bit hard to read at the moment. So yeah, we had that big bullish bar and it didn't do a great deal before it came back down. So it's hard to know whether we're going to push through this. So hopefully the quality might be a little bit better. I've upped my bit rate from 9,000 kilobytes per second to 18,000. So hopefully it should be a little bit better quality. Whether it's the quality, or it should be the better quality that you guys see. Okay, so we've broken out of that now. So I'd like to come up and retest the bottom before I think we're going to go down and attempt a new low, because at this area we've sort of, there is a bit of support along here. Anybody keeping an eye on Bitcoin? Bitcoin's just hit $60,000. We're at 57,000 yesterday and it's over 60,000 now, so it's just gone crazy. 43% the last month. So it's gone crazy. It was due to, I think Apex doesn't consider the day before yesterday trading session. They reset accounts. Your opinion? Yeah, they may not have done, actually. They may not have done. I'm assuming your account summary doesn't look like you think it should. Is that what you're saying? Because that would make sense. Okay, so we've come back and we've retested the bottom of this line once, so I think there's a good chance we could push lower. So there is a failure there, but it's too far from the EMA for me. Now it may work, but you don't know whether it's going to trigger you, stop you out, and then continue on down. So there's nothing I can do, unfortunately, right at the minute. Okay, so we've tested it, but let's see what this. If we trigger this and then come down below this, then I'd say we're going to make a new low, but you just never quite know. Leg up, it could be just one leg, two legs down, and then back into the range. So I got mixed feelings at the moment. So the sensible thing to do would be to. Now we've had an exact measured move there, right to the tick, I think. More or less. So bullish bar, which has pushed us back up. Monday my loss was $180. They didn't consider that, only reflected in Tuesday's profit. Yeah, that may be the case, mate. That may be the case. That's the only downside. On the upside, if you had any losses, they should be wiped. But any profits, I think you'll keep. So. So we had some news there, maybe a slightly larger bar, but nothing really to write home about, nothing else for the rest of the day, which is good. Incidentally, the 80% off on 1 day to pass has been extended to the 3rd of March, which I believe is Sunday. Yes, it is. So that's good news. I think because of the problems with Rhythmic and a lot of people's accounts have been messed around. A lot of people's accounts were messed around. So I think they're just sort of, extending it just to sort of give people a little bit of something for the hassles. What was that? Whipsaw. I never saw anything. In fact, I haven't reloaded my historic. I think I was looking at the stream comments at the time. Yeah, it's hard to trade this really. Leg up, leg up. We're going to get another push up or what? For some reason, there was a few evaluations that I failed that have shown back into my account for some reason. If I look at my account summary, there's 3 evaluations which I'd failed. I'm not sure why. Because on my main page, your chart was different. Is it better now? Is it? Yeah, for some reason I've got 3 evaluations shown up. They're still shown as over the limit, blown, but they're in the accounts for some reason, so I don't know what's happening. You had 4 consecutive 4 bullish bars. Okay, so, all right, I got you. Have you reloaded your historic? Okay, so we got a leg up. There's a second entry long there, maybe another leg up. I actually don't mind this. The trouble is,
Order submitted.
I like what it's doing here. I expect that to push up. Trouble is, it's very close to the highs. So we've come back to the MA, so I think there's a chance after that. I think there's a chance that will continue on, but I just don't like there's not much room to the highs.
Order
so I'm just going to have to
cancelled.
sit tight here, right? Yeah, sometimes even though you reset your historic data, sometimes bars can still be slightly different. And I think that's got a lot to do with, you know, different internet speeds. When the data comes down from the servers, it's only got to reach maybe your computer a fraction of a second later, and that can mean a difference between a tick here or there and a slightly different looking bar. Okay, we have got a leg up and a bit of sideways. This looks like a bull flag, and there's a bullish bar there, so I would suggest that in a lot of cases it won't break below there. That's just an educated guess if it's a bull flag. A lot of times when we get something that looks quite solid, but that's just it's more of a test that just to see if it holds, but we've got to push up and sideways, so I'd expect another leg up there. My only slight issue with going along with that is that we're going above these, and do I really want to hold? Possible second entry long there, but the trouble is it's sideways as well, so I think it's risky, but I do expect that to push up. Yeah, it is congested. This is purely just guesswork. A lot of the times when we see this and it goes sideways, we get like a mirror image, but I wouldn't trade it. One, because we're close to these tops. Two, because it is congested. Sometimes it's congested but readable. It's more readable here. If we had a second entry long, that wouldn't be a bad sign. I expect that to go in a second. There may be some short stops there. Okay, so it's doing what I expected. I tend to say that about the bull flag because every time I see it, most of the time it works. So at some point in the future, it may become part of my entry. I mean, that's the thing about sitting day by day in front of the charts. You do start to notice stuff, and so what I want to see now is that to trigger short and then to have another little push, but I think there's a fair chance that that's going to hit. Having said that, on here we're still stuck sideways. It doesn't mean it can't go up a little bit by itself. You could draw an upper trend down channel. Yeah. And that sort would make sense, wouldn't it? But I'd like to see that bearish bar trigger and then push up again. We're starting to look like we're ready to take off here, so that's triggered. Now what I'd like to see is that to get stopped out, and if it does, I expect it to push up, and that's that second part of that bull flag. Leg up, sideways, leg up. Okay, we're still in that channel. See if that holds. That's about the most solid looking bar there. AP, good morning to you. Where would I have taken it? I wouldn't, to be honest with you. If we get a good solid setup, what I would suggest is that's probably the most bullish looking bar. For me, there's nothing that would interest me. If it came down here reversed and it was sat on the bottom, like maybe that was the top, and we had a second entry along, that would be where I would probably take it. But I tend to not take these, but what I tend to do is I see them happening all the time, so I'm just in the process of just sort of assessing it again and again, and at some point in the future, if there's a decent entry, I may decide to take it, but I've put that there because for me, during that bit of congestion there, that's probably the most solid-looking bar, solid-looking bull bar, so I'll just put that out of interest just to see if it holds. But I don't trade these. I tend to just see them happen, and I just tend to keep watch. But you do sort of change and develop as a trader, but you do find your own way because you do see lots of different setups that you sort of may consider at some point. But another downside to that is we are sideways. I mean, if we were moving up in a trend or something, that would be I'd expect that to push up more to that measured leg. But because we're in this range, we have got some support at the tops. So, you know what, it might make that a bit difficult or maybe a bit slower on the way up. I'd like to see this bearish bar on the NQ trigger. Market's gone stagnant at the moment. Okay, maybe this is a higher low and that's the way up. In fact, you know what, I'm wondering whether there's a bit of a channel there and second entry long stroke higher low. Market's almost gone stagnant, isn't it? Is something stopped working? Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, it is working, it's okay. Ninja Trader freeze in here. Yeah, it seemed to just stop a minute. I don't know. Yeah, it's stopping again. You have no issues. Data lag. Yeah, it seems to stop for a second then speed up. You got issues as well. Okay. I did consider, because I've upped my bit rate to double, but I've got more than enough euros also for... Okay, so I thought for myself, maybe it's the bit rate, but no, that's just the speed it goes up. It should lag for you guys, not for me. Lag is showing quite high. Oh my God, yeah, it is. Let me just see if that sorts it out. No, I have got some lag software here. Let's see if this works. Where is it? Yeah, you got to be careful entering when it's like that, because you can enter and all of a sudden nothing, and then it just rockets into gear. Your lag is 0.5. H, just a quick question. Have you got something on here that shows your lag, have you? There was a video I watched on YouTube the other day that was talking about, oh, it's gone down now, how to set your lag. How to just check. And there was a little box that said something on his screen. Any idea? Up the top of Ninja Trader, at the top. Whereabouts is it? Which bar? It's not data series, is it? Do you know where it is, bud? Are you on about here? Ah, right, okay, yeah, I know what you mean. There's just something else. There was another box which you could reset it. Somehow it's got bad again. Yeah, I'm aware of that. There's something you can monitor it a little bit more. Let me have a look. I have got some software here that's supposed to sort it out. time sync. It's even worse on the NQ. Look at that lag. I'm like, Christ, what's going on? That's just completely frozen. Look at that, 112. I've never seen that before. What is going on with you reckon it's rhythmic? Oh dear. Is it really? I mean, look at that, it's just frozen. Oh, I see. Oh dear. Do you really? You can't connect. Oh man, it's just frozen, isn't it? Hey Rodian, how you doing? I'm stopping training for the day. Yeah. Whatever happens, while this lag is showing like that, don't enter into any trades. Yeah, you as well. Okay, so at least it's happening to a bunch of us. You got crazy lag. Yeah, I got to say, it's happening a lot with the rhythmic, which in one sense is a good thing because the more it happens, the more they have to address it. And it does concern me trading with multiple accounts that something goes wrong. I mean, there was issues the other day. Messed everyone around, but I mean, it's completely frozen on the NQ. At least we're moving on here, but it's just not safe to take anything, to be honest with you. I mean, it's choppy anyway. Okay, my lag's gone back to normal there, but it's ridiculous up here. The third-party add-on in Lilu support gave no lagging. Yeah, it's going back up again. So let me just. I think I can shut that down temporarily, can't I? Let me have a look. Yeah, let me just have a look on glitched. Oh yeah, just be careful today. I mean that lags too much. I mean on here it's just completely frozen on there. Let me just have a look at the Discord. I'm assuming. It is frustrating when you're trying to, you're trying to work and earn some money. Excuse me if you can see this a minute. I'm just going to drag it out the way. Let me just look at the Discord. Assuming other people. Okay, someone's saying we're Apex Trader Funding. We're experiencing rhythmic issues. Be patient until it's fixed. Yeah, a lot of people saying rhythmic down. Rhythmic is dead. Unable to close my position. Oh my good God, I'm just glad I'm not in a position. Also kicked me out of trade twice. The trouble is, the thing is, the more people it happens to, the better it is for all of us. It's rhythmic. I just switched to see. No problem, really. They're going to have to do something else. They're going to have to sort of do something with rhythmic, aren't they? You can't log in now. So let me just have a look. Yeah, my rhythmic's still up at the moment. Wait a minute. No market data. Okay. It's frustrating because it's happening all the time. 2 attempts to log in, really. Wow, look at that. Obviously that'll be broken bars, but that was obviously the way down. Let's reload the historic there. Should break that up a bit. Okay, so we've actually, after this lot, we've managed to get down and make a new low. So, yeah, there we go. Lag's still way too high at the moment. It's just not safe to get in a trade. The trouble is, you don't know when the trade kicks in. Is it going to smash straight through your stop? It happens all the time. Switch to top step. Do they not? What do they use, top step? I've got to say, I'm that used to Apex now, I'd find it hard to move anywhere else. I just hope that Apex Rhythmic sucks. Yeah. Why do Apex use it if it's so problematic? Or perhaps they'll sort something out. It's so frustrating. Yeah, there's nothing we could do. Top step is rhythmic. Oh, if top step are using rhythmic, we've experienced rhythmic issues. Be patient till it's fixed. So they're saying it's rhythmic. Well, it obviously is, isn't it? Because it's the data. Is there any way? Do we have to use rhythmic, or can we pay? Can we still trade with Apex but pay for our own data? Do we have to use rhythmic? My understanding of rhythmic is it connects. You can't, no. Yeah, see, my understanding in rhythmic, someone saying no, someone saying yeah, so. My understanding of rhythmic is it connects Apex with our Ninja Trader. Do you copy trade your PAs? How do you manage them? Is it one by one? No, I use copy trade. I use Replicanto. You have to use rhythmic because connects to Apex proper count. Oh, yeah, okay. That's my understanding of it. It connects with Apex's proper count. So, yeah. God, it's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Not sure if my issues was with the data feed. Did see it slow down a bit at the open. Yeah, what I'll say is, yeah, I'll have a look. I'm just going to drag this in so you guys can see that. Can you see that all right? Yeah, Apex trader funding will experience rhythmic issues. Be patient till we fix it. Rhythmic down. Rhythmic is dead. Unable to close position. Rhythmic issues. Another day. Another reset. Also kicked me out twice. So rhythmic going bankrupt. Can't pay for. So there's clearly some issues with rhythmic. So at least we know what it is. So I just hope you guys are not in a trade, or if any of you are stuck in a trade, I hope not. It's not Apex's fault. The trouble is, I get what you're saying, but Apex say you have to use rhythmic to trade, but if Apex is constantly breaking down, then they can't say, well, it's nothing to do with us, because people will just stop trading, because if they're constantly losing money and constantly losing accounts, they'll think this is not worth it. You have to have some stability. They have no other options, do they not? I don't understand how it all works, really. So they have to use it, do they? Yeah, I know it's all sim. Yeah, even live accounts are sim until you actually go on to a possible paid account. I don't know. It's a shame you can't pay for your own data. I don't even mind paying, 50, 80 quid a month or whatever if I had stability. See, we've had a breakout at the bottom. We've made a new low. That's a higher low that may have interested me, but I just can't get in with lag shooting up like that. At least they're good about making it right. Yeah, but it does suck. Yeah. I mean, if it happens to a lot of people, they tend that they'll look after you. A real life account, you have no option for data. Yeah. You have option. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, I daren't do it, Jay. If I open an order and something goes wrong, I'll kick myself. You're not showing up in rhythmic. Yeah, something's not right with rhythmic then, is it? So I suppose all we can do really is have a chit chat. That's the fake out stuff for these prop firms. Got you. Well, rhythmic can have to sort something out, aren't they? Because Yeah, I get it. It must be so whiskey chatting. uh, I hope you're serious there, mate, because you may just start me off on a rant, on a whiskey rant. Let's have a look. What am I thinking of buying at the moment? Yeah, I mean, it must be just as frustrating for Apex. Obviously, they gotta put up with all the backlash, haven't they? Where's Oh, it's alright. It's okay. I don't get why it affects only Apex. It's always sucked. Top step X is just 49. Way for the trouble is, if you've already got 5 accounts here, what can you do? I've got 5 PA accounts here, so what can you do? I mean, I just hope that more problems. Sometimes, if it's happening to lots of people, I think more gets done. Apex don't want this, do they? They want stability because it keeps the customers happy. If you've got unhappy customers all the time that are losing accounts or having frustration, they'll start to maybe look elsewhere, and you obviously don't want your customers starting to browse other places, because if you go to another prop firm and you get PA accounts, you're sort of bound to them, then, aren't you? It is frustrating though when you got a day to trade and there's nothing you can do. Okay, the ATR the lag has improved. Most likely pays for servers for data. Yeah, I don't know, Chris. Okay, so far so good. The lag has dropped. So I still wouldn't trade just yet. Let me have a look on the forum again. Let's see if they give us an update. They're bound to give us an update, because the trouble is, while we're waiting for updates, people aren't trading and people will be sending tons of messages. So as soon as we get something, they should let us know, really. Excuse me a second. Okay, while we're waiting for this, guys, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Let me just put my 5-minute break on. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, sorry about that. Look. Turn it off a sec. Oh, dear me. Bitcoin 61. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I looked earlier when it was 60,000. So we're about $7,000 away from all-time highs. Wow, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Okay, the lag has dropped. Let's have a look at the Discord, see if we get anything. Still nothing as yet. So no trading until issue resolves. Yeah. Hey, Karina, how you doing? How are you? Yeah. God, it's frustrating, isn't it? It's a ball ache. Okay, excuse me a second. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, dear. What's happening? But yeah, sorry, my mistake. It's all right. I'll just take a couple of seconds. We got someone visit. Okay, the lag has gone, so that's one thing. There does seem to be a channel here. So we got a leg, 2 legs back, and a leg. Let's have a look. There was a failure there, but it's a bit congested. Yeah, it's just Rhythmic hasn't updated. Yeah, just a quick one as well. I noticed a comment this morning from Daryl Martin saying you can no longer flatten accounts on the Apex website. There's too many people apparently, so you've got to do it via the app. You can download the app, the Rhythmic app, and that is the way to close or to flatten any accounts or close any positions if something freezes up. So just make sure you got your phone with you, download your app, and just make sure you got your login details. For some reason, when you do that, it does close NinjaTrader. I don't quite know why, but I don't think it's a major issue if everything's frozen. So just to let you guys know. But it's a bit stressful. Let me have a look. Yeah, we're still getting nothing from I'm just on Thomas Wade. Oh, you're asking about ES volume. Yeah, it's strange. It is frustrating when you're trying to, make some money and that. What can you do? Yeah, see on the Discord, it doesn't say you can't trade. It just says we're experiencing rhythmic issues. Please be patient. We've had nothing else after that. So I don't quite know. But the lag is back to normal, so that's something. Why can I not make a comment on there? Can you guys hear me okay, incidentally? Can everybody still hear me? Yeah, okay, great. It's okay. I can't put a comment. On Oh, okay, yeah, I've got another comment. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, it's all right. Everything seemed to go a bit slow for a minute there. It's all right. I just went to put a comment on the Apex Discord and it wouldn't let me, so I just thought. Yeah, I think a lot of people. Yeah. Oh, okay. Someone's saying Rhythmic is back. Okay, people saying Rhythmic is back. How do we get the money back for lost? I think a few people have lost money again today, so it's frustrating, isn't it? It's okay hearing about it, but if you're on the receiving end of it, it is frustrating. I know that you'll get your money back, but it could take a day or two and just cause you a little bit of stress, I suppose. It's just, unfortunately, the way things is until things improve with Rhythmic. So I'm assuming is just because it's SIM data, it's not as reliable. Or is there any other option? I don't know. Okay, what is going on here? Let me have a look at this. Are we in some sort of a giant trend? possibly. So we've got a channel up here which is fitting nice, but then there's an overshoot. So I wouldn't want to go long here. Not only that, because we're coming to the top, so it'd be interesting to see that bar trigger and then turn down and give us a lower high. Trouble is, at the moment we look like we're pushing up on the or is this, are we down? We're just 2 legs up and we come down again. So perhaps there is a downtrend there. Let me just do something like that for now and see if maybe there's a lower high there. If that pushes down, it'd be nice to see that bullish bar trigger and then get a lower high there. So we've had this channel down, we've had 2 legs up, lower high, so I think there's a good chance that might come down. I'd like to see that bullish bar trigger. Just dated myself. Yeah, this is turning, pushing up, isn't it? I thought for a minute if we push down and finish bearish below that, the EMA may be a way down. At least this lag's gone back to normal, so that's something. Bitcoin at 60. I know it's crazy, isn't it? It was it 57,000 yesterday, 60,000 this morning, 61,000 now. We're about 6,000, 7,000 short of all-time highs. So the altcoins, money isn't going into the altcoins, it will go into Bitcoins. And I think then when we hit a certain level, money will come out of Bitcoin and flows. That's my understanding of it, flows into the altcoins and then we should get a bit of a... Let's have a look. So yeah, we're at 61,000. Ethereum's 3,300, just over that. Solana's not growing as much at the moment. That's around about 111. Yeah, the altcoins are on average in 2 to 4%, something like that at the moment. So money's all going into Bitcoin, isn't it? H-bar is not too bad. I'm making some money out of H-bar. So we've just definitely had that big push now. It'd be interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we get up to all-time highs in the next couple of days, but you never know. Waiting on the US 500 for a trend. So we got a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, leg and a leg. See this, I like the way it's testing this a couple of times. I think there's a fair chance we could get another leg down, maybe at least to the EMA. This is looking possibly bearish. 2 touches off this line. It's very tempting, that. Very tempting.
Order submitted.
I don't like the way. No, I'm leaving this.
Order cancelled.
My slight concern is we have 2 legs back and then we push up. We might just have a correction before we push higher, so I'm staying out of a short there. 2 legs down and a bullish bar there. Trouble is, we're coming into support here, but the trouble is we seem to be hitting that EMA and bouncing. Can we trade lag issues fixed? Well, I've got no lag issues at the moment, and people are saying on the forum that Rhythmic is working, so that's all I'll say. So my slight concern is here, because we've had this leg up and a bit of sideways, we may get another leg up, so we may have 2 legs back and a push up. But it could come right down here. This is below the EMA at the moment. Yeah, it's coming down, I think. But we could get a second entry long there, so I'm just not sure about what's going on at the moment. So I think sitting tight is the best option. Because we got 2 legs now and a bullish bar forming. Same here. If we can get a higher low. Trouble is, we got this. We keep hitting some tops, and we've hit it twice there. You can't ignore that, I don't think. It doesn't mean it won't smash through it, but okay. 2 legs back and a nice big bullish bar there. That's very tempting. That's very tempting. Trouble is, we're going into support and here, so it hasn't triggered anyway. Yeah, it's not safe to trade this at the moment. We're hitting support, and it's funny, as we've gone up, look, it's crossed over and it's dipping. Whether it'll come right down or not, I don't know, but trouble is, we've had an overshoot and we are hitting the tops. So, and what I'm seeing on the there's a trap there. I think what I'm seeing on the NQ is we've hit this area 3 times. So you would think, we've hit it a bunch of times there and we dropped, so you would think there would be more chance of this coming down than going up. But you just never know. There is a lower high and a failure there, and both stops are intact. So it's a bit congested, and it is here as well, so you just don't know. I mean, we pushed up there, didn't we? We made a bunch of attempts, and then we dropped quickly. So if we get below that bar there, that big bullish bar, then I expect some more downward stuff. Yeah, it's unclear. I'm not trading at the moment. Maybe this is a higher low, but the trouble is there's so much support there. It's risky. There's some traders trapped here. There'll be some longs trapped. Well, there's some... You'd expect there to be some shorts there with the failure. You'd expect there to be some longs in there as well because of the second entry long. You'd expect there to be some traders possibly still in there with the lower high. So there'll be some longs and short in here. Lag indicator tool. So it really could go either way. If it breaks below that bullish bar there, then I think then it's likely then to come down. we had something very similar, didn't we? 2 attempts to go high in a bullish bar, 2 attempts to go high in a bullish bar. So if it gets below there, it's down for me. Yeah, there's definitely some trap traders in here somewhere, isn't there? Someone's going to get stuffed. Trouble is, from this channel down, we have made a new low. So, you know, it could reverse up. But equally, we're creating tops there and we've hit it 3 times. So I would suggest it's more likely to come down. But you've got a big bullish bar there, which it's come down twice, but hasn't broken below. I mean, personally, if we get below that bar there, then I'd say then we're on our way down then to retest these lows. Or, but we are struggling there. Gonna call it a day. Took a failed breakout, failed second entry long. Yeah. Good decision, mate, that is. You know, if you took a trade. So I'm assuming it was a winning trade, was it, bud? $14.51. So it's around about here. Yes, it was. Yeah, there you go. And maybe take, yeah, finish early. Okay, we have broken below there, so I think there's a good chance now we could come down here. So if you did take that failure, you certainly got your money. I just don't like what it was doing there with them couple of doges, but if you got in there, well, it's gone down for 3 1/4 points either, 2.6 ticks, whatever you take. You'd be out there. But I think when it had hit this 3 times, you can't ignore that, can you? But I'm an evals, so I took the risk, didn't I? Yeah, absolutely. I trade evals, you know, more aggressively. You know, it's part of the thing, isn't it? If you're paying $15, $16 for one, you know, it just happens, isn't it? So we had very similar picture there as to there. We had that bullish bar which triggered, came down and stopped it out. So we had that one push down and then we had that pullback. So we got a, maybe that's just a pullback before we come down again. It's hard to say. So we've got a leg up with an overshoot, and a lot of times with an overshoot we get a correction. So that to me looks like a correction. So I would suggest, I would expect this to go up, but this is showing me a different picture. So I find that hard to sort of work out. You know, Max says obviously, you know, when we get an overshoot, it can result in a fallout reversal or sometimes just a correction to a bigger channel. So, you know, perhaps there is something bigger working up. I mean, we've had this, haven't we? We've pushed up and we've made multiple attempts. Maybe you say 1, 2, 3 attempts to go lower. And it hasn't worked. So maybe that's just a correction. Maybe we are pushing up. But at the moment, this is showing us something quite different. It could change quickly. So yeah, that just looks like, let's try that again, just a correction, a two-legged correction from there to there maybe. Yeah, it does look like 2 legs back. But I have to keep this in mind as well, that we're still going sideways, although there is a possibility this may be a bigger channel. At the moment, we're going sideways, so this could reverse. But what I will say is, as we've had this breakout at the top, a lot of cases we'll push down, have a breakout at the bottom. We haven't. We've had 2 legs down and bounced here. So I've put that channel there. Just on the understanding that that might be an area where we have this larger channel forming. But that's sort of, call it educated guess at the moment, but we need to get out of this. So maybe that's this, the channel down there, a little bit of sideways, 1 attempt lower, and eventually we came down, made a new low. So perhaps this is just working its way up now. But we need to get above all this and sort of ideally test the top of that line from the top side. So depending on what you're seeing there, but we've had a little close above there, so maybe we're just retesting it. I'd like a pullback here, so maybe we're getting a bit of an upside down head and shoulders. There's the head, there's the shoulder. I'd like to come down, make the other shoulder, and then yeah, it does seem like we're possibly forming a bit. Oh, there we go. Guessing there were some stops somewhere above here, this level and this level. Maybe we got a leg down, 1, 2 attempts to go higher, and quite likely some stops there, which caused that little bit of a push. So a couple of legs down, retest this, higher low to push up again, hopefully. So one leg, two legs back. We're definitely hitting bottom there. So we've got the channel down, a break, couple of attempts to go higher. One leg down, two legs down. Okay, I'm just going to take a few minute break. I'm just going to make a quick cuppa. I got a bit distracted and we had someone visit, so I'll let this sort itself out. I want it down here really before I can think about going long anyway. So quick 3 to 5 minute break, quick cup of coffee, and I'll come back. Okay. Right, I haven't missed anything. Let me just tidy this chart up a little. So there is a second entry long there, but I just don't like it. I mean, I like the way it's working off that midline, but it's just too far from the EMA. Could trigger you and come down to this, so I'm not interested in anything there. It's just too far from the EMA. What I'd like to do is come down and retest this, ideally, at this sort of area, and then try and maybe look for a high-low, continuing in on up. Okay, that second entry long was triggered. It's a bit congested. It might work, but it's just too risky for me. It's way too far from the EMA. It is a bit congested there. So it's a no-no for me, personally. So we've pushed up here, and we've made 2 more attempts to push higher, so it's a bit hard to read this. This is a little bit clearer, but this is a bit, what are we doing here? So if you'd have took that a tick above there, it would have to hit that level. It looks like it might do to get a point. It's just too risky for me. Personally, it's getting way too close to these tops, too far from the EMA. Sometimes they just work, other times they just won't. But taking that long, especially when it's close, right into them tops, is just a no-no for me personally. Yeah, if you'd have taken that, you'd be changing your underwear about now. Let me have a look. You took it a tick above there, you wouldn't have got a point. You'd have to, well, depending on where you took it, but if you took it right on the nail, you'd have squeezed a point. But it's just too risky. That it's floating in the middle of nowhere. We're way too far away from the EMA, personally. Oh wow! Look at that! Wow. So, so if you had taken that, you'd have just done it right there, actually. But you have a look, a tick above it. Yeah, you still be pushing it to get 6 ticks. I just don't like this stuff, especially this close to the high. You didn't know it was going to do that. Can use a different account for payments, the renewal fee. Yes, you can. If you go into just go into update payments on your Apex account. It has changed a bit lately, isn't it? Has anybody else been offered a free gift? I just had an email from Apex saying thanks for your continued support for Apex. You're entitled to a free gift, and I can have a jumper, a t-shirt, a cup, whatever. Anybody else had one of those emails? Yeah, I can't find where you get into it, where you go into it now. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's on the main page. So when you get your first page up, it says useful links. It's got update credit card. So just update your payments there. And I'll sort things out. Let me have a look. If you had 5k in payouts, they are doing that. Oh, okay. For the gift, yeah. Including free postage. I might message them back and say I'm after a new coffee machine. Maybe they might stretch to it. So possibly lower high here. My only slight issue is that it triggers you and pushes up. We're close to this measured leg now, and at the moment we're clearly in an uptrend, so I don't want to be thinking about shorts. It's not the easiest of trading days today. It's a bit messy and a bit choppy. This is a bit clearer, but this is harder to read. This. Got a leg and a leg. A leg and a leg. Although we haven't quite hit that top. 2 down, 2 up. We've had 6 different second entry longs with good signal bars at the top of a swing, short up trend. 2 work for a scalp, 4 did not so much goes. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I think the longer you trade, the more you realise context is absolute key. Learning the setups are pretty straightforward. You can teach someone what a second entry is in 5 minutes, but applying it to the correct context, that's the real skill, isn't it? And you just improve with time. The more you do it, the better you get at understanding it. It's like anything, really, the more you do it. But yeah, it's so easy. You can understand why newer traders just get chopped to pieces in these kind of conditions. Because it's there's no real rhyme or reason here. You can pretty see what it's done. We've had a couple of legs and then sort of a couple of legs down and then push up and a bit of sideways, and we've had 2 legs now. But a lot of this sort of stuff's just so hard to trade. It's unpredictable. It's just it's lapping all over the place. But I mean, you'll hear Max say many times, you just can't trade this stuff. The smart traders and the skilled traders are staying out of it. So that'll give you an idea of whether you're a smart, skilled trader if you've taken no trades. I wouldn't class myself as a smart, skilled trader. I know enough to stay out of certain areas, but I still sometimes succumb to a lack of patience once in a while. Arthur, how you doing? So, how you doing? So yeah, it is a tough business sometimes, but half the battle is the patience. If you can stay out of this when it's not making sense, because the trouble is, the longer you sit here, the more you think we're just going to get no setups, and sometimes you just have to walk away. If I sit down here for 3 or 4 hours and I walk away without taking a trade, I actually feel really good about myself, because I've managed to hold it together in one of the the toughest parts of trading is the patience. And then sometimes when you see a half-hearted trade, you think, I've just got to get it. When really you haven't. The best thing to do is wait till you find an absolute sitter, something that's perfect. If we're coming from the tops or bottoms and we come off the bottom and get a beautiful high or low, I mean, it might not be the exact sample, but let's say we touch this bottom multiple times and then we get a nice strong looking high or low. We had the news event here, so that's why that, but something like that with a push up just to grab your points. Real good quality, clear ones, the ones that you can't click your button quick enough, those types. And then just let the rest go by. Much better to take less trades. You'll have less losses. Trouble is, when you take a loss, you've got to take at least one more just to get back to break even. So you've then taken 2 trades and you're still slightly in the red. So you're much better off. You'll get better at it. You get better at filtering the shit ones out, because the shit ones just now and again will lose. If you just wait for those good ones, those real cracking ones just do not seem to fail. If you get those ones where it's obvious what the market's doing and you get a great setup, they just don't fail. Is Apex resetting counts who failed today? Correct. Yeah, a couple of people have said that they will do. If it's an outage that affects lots of people, then yeah, they're pretty good there. I mean, it's frustrating for them because it costs, them money. I know majority of people will probably blow them anyway. But it's still a headache for them because obviously they've got to have people, managing, constantly managing, emails and stuff like that. So it's extra work and extra money for them. So that, will they reset PAs? Yes, they will, mate. Yeah. Yeah. If it's affected many people, yeah, they will. They won't. They can't not because people will just stop taking them. If every time something goes wrong with Rhythmic, you lose all your money, then you just stop trading. If you've got 5 accounts and every time you had a problem, you lost a lot, it just wouldn't be worth trading anymore. So maybe I know what you're saying there. Maybe take a few risks because if something goes tits up. Yeah, I mean, they say you reset counts. I don't know whether they just blanket reset the whole lot or not. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't take trades based on the fact that they may. If something goes wrong, they may reset you because if they don't, you're knackered. Okay, so that measured moves happened. I just didn't like anything there trade-wise. There was a second entry long, but the trouble is you're going into, there's a load of support there, so it's just risky. The fact that you've got a good idea it's going to push higher isn't a good enough reason to take a trade, personally, trading from Pats. And then you've got that big, strong push, big bullish bar. It's just, 1, it's too much risk. 2, we're right at these eyes. So it's just not working. It's just not worth it. If you put it a tick below there and a tick above it, yeah, it's a 4-point risk. It's just too much, especially that close to the highs of this. I mean, whether you think that's a channel or not, I certainly wouldn't want to go long there with the potential because we've been up here 4 times. We've been up here again. So going long there, I mean, it did come back. It did hold. Sometimes when you have a good solid bar, the stops do stay intact. It has worked, but it's just too risky, that really. You never quite know it's going to do that. So that measured moves played out. So we've definitely had 2 clear legs up. So now what's going on? So there is a trader that I watch on YouTube. Where is he? I like him, actually. He's an Asian guy. I was watching him last night. I like what he's got to say. I've watched him before. He makes a lot of sense. Where's my history? That guy there.
I saw that.
Switch the volume off. This guy. I like this guy. I like what he's got to say. The Trader Geek. How to actually trade like it. He's got loads of videos. Really, really good. But he explains things very well. He explains where was he showing it? Where was it back here? Yeah, this bit here. Where you start trading, you get that initial few wins, and then you lose. And that's where most people give up. And usually that's where you start to become more profitable. Is he a fraud? Well, whether he is or not, I just like the way he explains things. I don't know whether he is or not. He has posted, he has posted pictures of his, I don't know what true it is, but I like the way he explains it. You start trading, you get a bit of success, you think, yeah, this is easy, and that's when you start to lose. And that's where most people give up around about here. But if you can, stay consistent, but I don't know whether he is or not. I love you, but it's all right, mate. He's awful. He's been caught. Oh, is he really? I don't know, to be fair. I was just liking the way he explains things. That's all. So, is this an overshoot now? How you doing, Osam? Anyway, how are you? So, let's have a look here. So, we've come up to this area now. We've been up here before. So, after that big push up, I'd expect at least coming back to the EMA and there's a bit of an overshoot there. We've got to push up, break new high. So whether this is a channel or not, but that's definitely an overshoot. I would have suggested anyway. Maybe it isn't. Yeah, even if there's a bigger channel there, it's still a bit of an overshoot, and we've had a real strong push-up. Been good. How you been? Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Not too bad at all. Man trading is... Oh, has he really? Okay, yeah, fair enough, Scruffy, yeah. You just never know. I don't know why people bother. I don't think he... Does he sell anything or not? I don't know. So I think there's a good chance we're going to get back to the EMA. So if we can get a lower high there, maybe an option for one here. I'd like to say that has triggered that bar, so I'd like to see a low. If we get a lower high, I think there's a good chance we're going to get back to the EMA. I think it may be more like that, I think. Yeah, I think I prefer that. We've got a touch here, touch here, touch here. Yeah, I mean, even if with this slightly different channel, I still wouldn't have taken that. What you want is a couple of legs back and then a higher low there. It's all right. So I don't think there is an overshoot. I'm not sure. That might just be a couple of legs up, 2 legs back, and then we start on our merry way. So that makes a bit more sense. So I think there's a, yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a chance we're going to get down to the EMA. Trouble is, we're an uptrend at the moment, so I just can't take a trade here. Possible second entry long. No, I don't like it. This, personally, even if it finishes bullish, is just too far for the EMA to think about going long on. So 2 legs back in a bullish bar there, I wouldn't trade, because I think it's more likely that that's going to get closer to the EMA. Might not, but we've had that big strong push up and a break, so I'd like to get a bit closer to the EMA, which tells me this is more likely going to come down a bit, so I'm not thinking about going long here. Aye, 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 aye. So, a couple of legs here. First leg, so another leg. It's got to get closer to the EMA this really before I think about getting involved in a long there. You could call that hidden second entry long down, a little bit side down. I'll just never take this first one because it could trap you. One leg, trap you, down for another leg, and then off where you think it's going to go. We're just too far away from the EMA at the moment, so I'm just staying out of any possible long here. I wouldn't be surprised if that does trigger and come down a bit. It might not, but it's just not for me, that. Dear me. Okay, so we've got a level channel. It does look like a small break there and a new low. So we got this channel. I'm hoping we get one leg and a second leg, something like that. Push up and a second leg, and maybe a higher low to continue on up. Do you know, the more I look at that, the more I don't think that was a bad trade, actually. It was quite a small risk. We had this channel up there, 2 clear legs back and a bullish bar. It was quite a small risk, actually. The more I look at that, the more I think, actually, it wasn't a bad trade. Yeah, tick above, tick below. It's only a 1.5 risk. So we got a push up there, 2 legs back. Nice little bullish bar. Might be worth a crack, that. I'd have preferred a higher low, but okay, so there's possibly a higher low here. I'm still not a fan of this at the moment because we're reacting off those highs in the NQ, so you don't know whether it's going to bounce off here. We've got a little channel there, bounce off here, and then come down. I just don't like going long into there, so I wouldn't want to go long here because something about this I'm not a massive fan of. If this was down here somewhere, then I may be interested. But the fact that we've had 1, 2, and now a couple of attempts higher there, and now we're having another go. There's probably going to be some stops up here, so maybe if it pushes up through those stops, it might get a bit of momentum. So maybe this is not a bad trade. Let's just get an order ready and see what we feel
submitted.
About it. No, I'm not a fan of this.
Order cancelled.
There's a couple of doges there, so that's a big no-no. Trouble is, we've hit this, so I mean, it could come tumbling down, can it? We've had sort of like a couple of pushes up. We've tried a few times, we come back. I mean, we have had quite a strong push off the EMA. Trouble is, you can't use that as a signal bar. It's naff. All right, it may push up, but maybe we take a failure or something. Leg. I'd like to see a leg, a break, and another leg, and then some continuation on. We are going to be hitting a few stops here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a rush. This is slow going today. We've had a lot of this chop there, a little bit there. We push up and a little bit of chop, same again. It's a little bit smoother on the NQ. Well, maybe it isn't actually. I'd like to retest this. Possible second entry short. I'd like to see a trade like that trigger and then start to push up. Because we're bouncing off this underside here. If we can trigger the short and then have the failure then. It's going to look right on here. Yeah, it's whether it starts to turn. Trouble is, I'd like us to come and retest this. I wouldn't want to go long here because it's too far from the top, too far from the MA, too far from this. So it needs to come a bit further for me to think about getting seriously serious. How you doing, buddy? We could have a couple of legs, so it may come down a bit further. But there is a possible failure. There may be some shorts trapped there. I'm just not a fan of the picture on here to go long just at the moment. Could come back a bit further. I mean, there's always a possibility of a failed break out of this, so it may come back in, but it kind of doesn't look too bad in there, so I'd like to maybe get a retest of this some. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of trading today. It's not a great day. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. There is a possible triple test here with the views to go long. So you may say one attempt lower, second attempt lower, third attempt lower, and then we'll push. But at the moment, we're just too far from the EMA for me to think about going long. I wouldn't go long on here because this doesn't look. This to me looks like it's. I prefer it to come back. But we've pushed up here and we've struggled to get higher, so we may come back into this range. It's hard to say, so that rules out a possible long on here just at the moment. Okay, we have bounced off the top there, but it's just not good enough for me to think about going long here, so I wouldn't here. I'd like to see that trigger and maybe have another leg down. No trades for me yet, Edward. How you doing, buddy? Nothing yet. It's been a bit of a finicky day, really. There's been a lot of this sort of chop. I mean, look at that. And then sort of a bit more here. Is there anything? It's hard to say, but I actually kind of like the look of that one. It looks like two nice legs back, and it was only a 1.5 wrist from top to bottom, so I like the way it's just something about it. I like we got a leg up, 2 legs back, and it took off from there. So I mean, you never quite know, but I do like the look of it. You know, it often does look that way. I like to get leg up, 2 legs back here for some continuation. Yeah, it does, and it's quite a small risk as well. A tick above, tick below. It's only a 0.5 risk. Mind you, the ATR is low today, so I know some of these bars look a little bit larger than that, but the average bar size is just over a 0.5. But with a tick below and a tick below, it's a relatively small risk. And if you took that bar there, it's over double the size. You know, but we got a leg up, and we have got, as we know, market moves in 2, so it's kind of 2 nice legs back, and you can obviously see traders like that, the way it pushed up. But that really, as far as me trading Pats, it's more of a, I don't know, maybe experience, common sense trade rather than following the Pats rules, really. So that might be something I sort of develop more and take or have a go at later on. But if you have 2 nice legs after that, you can expect it to at least get to these tops. And it's a relatively small risk. Even if you just took it up to the top, it's a comfortable 3 points. So you're risking 1 to make 2. So trades like that, they're probably worth taking. So we got 2 legs back. We haven't made a measured move. So I'm not in the market to go long just yet, because I don't like the way we've pushed out of this range. And we've had 2 wicks, so we may do it again, which could cause it to come down a bit quick. We could have a couple of legs down, so it may all of a sudden looking like it's pushing up, but as we know, the NQ can move pretty quick, so I wouldn't be shocked if it does come straight back down to maybe the EMA or retest this line. So I'm just not a fan at going long here. It's quite a bit shorter than a measured move, so a leg and a leg. This second leg broke down into 2 little legs. I bet that wouldn't be far away. So, yeah, so leg. In fact, let's put that at the same. Yeah, so I mean, leg, or the second leg brought down into 2 separate legs. I think that's quite feasible. So I wouldn't take that personally, not when we're that far away from the EMA. If this is a channel, I wouldn't want to take a trade here. So if this is not an area where you want to buy, I'd expect it to come down. So I think that trade there would be risky. I mean, it may rock it up, but the desire of buying. Yeah, it is. Open was a nightmare. Got cut more than once. Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny old. Some days we get like this where it doesn't. I mean, you can clearly see what's going on. You got 1 leg, 2 leg, and you got a leg up and a bit of sideways, and we got 1 leg, 2 leg, then 1 leg, 2 leg. So it's, you know, it's readable, but it is very choppy in there, and there isn't any what I would call areas where I would consider going long. If you consider that a bull flag, then a couple of legs down, you may have a crack at that one. I don't know, but these are trades areas that I see, I just notice over time. With a bit of experience, you notice areas like this, like I mentioned about that one, 2 legs back. So there are areas you may have a go, but while I'm trying to build accounts, I'd rather stick to my strategy. Yeah, so if you took a long there, you just broke straight through there, but this is what I expected. 2 legs back. Now if we can start working up, I'd still like this a bit closer to this area, but we have had a couple of attempts lower, so maybe it will start to push up. But I thought that might be lightly a couple of legs down, so we have made those. So channel up, 2 nice legs of correction, so I'd like to now see this start to work higher. And we're at the area now. Yeah, perfect. So that's where we want to be, really. I mean, there's always a possibility that we've been up here a bunch of times. It could pull into the range, but this for me looks like a leg. We've had a break, 2 legs back, and it looks like we're now starting to work up. So for me, this would be an area where I would expect maybe traders to go long. We've had a couple of legs back, a bullish bar there. Still a bit congested, but people might buy that. 1-2 attempts to go. So if we can get a higher low here, then that might be an option for a trade there. If that starts to take off, that's a good sign. Channel up there, 2 nice legs of correction. And we've pushed above here. We've made 1-2 attempts to go lower, and we're ending hopefully in a bullish bar, so that may continue to grind up. So if we can get a higher low here, then that might be an option. I want it to be above this though, in all fairness. So let's just get rid of that. We don't need it now, I don't think. And that. So 2 legs of correction and possibly up. I don't think there's anything larger there. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. It's still a bit congested, so it's a little bit unclear. I'd like to see it go up. It's certainly come down and tested this top a couple of times. We've had a push up, this little bit of a pullback, another push up. Maybe it's just a couple of legs at a pullback and we will go, but it's not moving as strong as I would have expected. So we're just going to have to sit tight here. There is a possibility, as I say, it could come back into this range. Or maybe it just makes 1-2 a triple test, 3 attempts before it pushes up. But there's nothing for us. I do like the correction. That's a good sign. It is starting to look like we're in a bit of an uptrend, possibly. Maybe something bigger like that. It's a bit too early, really. But I do like these scenarios where we have a nice channel. It's really clear. It's a nice clear channel. We got a touch, a touch, a touch. It fits nice, and we have a nice correction. And now we're pushing up. So if I can get a higher low, then that would interest me. But obviously, it's got to look. What I don't want it to do is to be stuck at the tops here, because the more times it tries to go higher, that it could fail and turn down pretty quickly. So this is just a bit unclear at the moment. It's a bit congested. So this channel is just a possibility. So, come on, get moving. You go. If we can, as we've tested this a couple of times, if we can get above here, then I think we may get a push down, and then a small retest, and then up again. Trouble is, it has tried 3 times now, so it could just drop. Going back a couple of years trading this, there seem to be way more setups I don't know whether it's just the way things are at the moment, or, you know, I don't know much about the technical side of it, but what little I do know, I'm pretty sure okay, see if we can get a higher low. These markets are run by algorithms, and I don't, you know, I'm assuming over time it's improved to be more efficient. I don't fully understand all the ins and outs of it, but I'd like to have a little retest now, and then a push up, and that may give us a higher low here. I'll goes on to keep price action in check. Yeah, seriously, since you know a bit more about this, are things always going to be challenging? Are they going to get more challenging? Are there going to be less setups? I can't see how, because if there's less setups, people wouldn't trade. You know what I mean? I don't know how it could be that way. I mean, you know, you would suggest that markets are run by buyers and sellers, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. I don't know much about it. I probably should maybe research into it, because it's certainly nice to understand how the sort of the cogs turn, so to speak. How are you guys doing? I'm okay. How are you, Sajid? It does look like we've got a higher low there, so that may push up. If we can get a higher low, we need this bar to close here and have a quick drop back to the EMA and then up again. But we've got a nice correction there. But it needs to come back here a bit first. So we've clearly broken above this, and we've had a couple of tests, and we've pushed up a bit more. So I think the chance of us going higher is relatively good, but I would like to have a little bit more of a test somewhere around about here, which would get this down a little bit lower, and maybe give us an opportunity to go long here. Come down a bit more. Come on. Come down to this area. Good. Excellent. Good. Remind me of Sajid. Where are you from, buddy? Remind me where you're from. California. Sounds warm. Is it warm at the moment? California sounds like it's just sunshine every single day. I don't know whether that's the case, but okay, so there's a possible higher low here. My slight concern is there's a little bit of support there. Still, is it cold? Is it? I know I was watching I know it sounds a bit sad, but I was watching a live stream from Los Angeles airport. I quite like, you know, travel and flight and all that. I was watching a live stream from Los Angeles, and they had a bit of snow. Just kidding. And they've had quite a bit of snow. I know. Is it New York where there's been a lot of snow? I watched something the other night. It was a live walk or something, and it was hammering down with snow. I think it was New York, was it? I can't remember. Okay, so there's a possible higher low here. But there's a bit of support here, which is worrying me a little bit. But this may be looking... It's still a bit too far away from this for my liking. Now, maybe it's more like that. In which case, you like this higher low. That's if it forms. Trouble is, look what's happening. You've got 2 stops there, 3, 4, 5. It is finding a little bit of support there. So that is just concerning me, because it could, if this is a bigger channel, it could continue sideways until it hits here before it starts to move. There's always a possibility, but it's finished a doge anyway, so that's a bit naff. Yeah, I love the 2 legs, but I just don't like what's happening here. And this seems to be what I've found sometimes. When it struggles to get up, sometimes it just drops and has a bit of a flush down, and that may then encourage a few more buyers. Because this isn't a place to buy, really, is it? We've just broken out of this range. We're floating in the middle of nowhere, really. I'd expect to come back to pick up some buy. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd expect to come around to this area if I was going to think about buying. I wouldn't be buying here. And that slow struggle to get up concerns me. I've done this before because I've been looking at this thinking it's bullish. Where can I get an entry? Where can I get an entry? And sometimes, you get a weak entry and all of a sudden, wham, it comes down. And this is making me a bit cautious as well because we are hitting some support. So we got a leg down. We could have 1, 2, 3 attempts to go up and it could drop. There's always a possibility. So it's just not filling me full of confidence at the moment. So I wouldn't take that doji even if it was a bullish bar here. I just don't like the way we're finding support here. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, the two love. The picture I love. The push up, the nice clear leg up, 2 clear legs down, and now I'd expect it to continue on up. But the way things are at the moment, it's just slow going, and sometimes the slower it goes up, the quicker it can come down. It's flat black ice. Yeah. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, sometimes the slower it grinds up, the quicker it just comes down and flushes. And it is struggling. We've pushed up. We've had 2 attempts to go lower, and we've had a push, but then we're slowly coming down with a bit of sideways. So I wouldn't want to be in that trade now by a tick, because that could just drop. I'm not saying it will. If we get above here, it could rocket. But it does make me nervous when it goes slow. I'm not a massive fan of this channel. I have a feeling there may be a bit of a break here. A leg down. But you just never quite know, which is why it's just risky trading at the moment. I wouldn't like to be in that trade, that bar on the NQ. Is it going to go? Is it going to go? So, it was a doji, so I doubt you'd have taken it anyway, but if you did take it, you'd have got a 1.25. Yeah, it's just not worth it, is it? And then that all of a sudden happens, so that makes you take a breath. I'd like to see maybe a couple of legs down, retest this, and then push up. I like the way it's gone up to the top of this midline. So if you look at this as a bigger channel, we've pushed up almost to the midline. So I'd like to see a couple of legs back before we go long. And I think this needs a break as well. Well, you never know, do you? Our second entry short be perfect. Yeah. Okay, so we're above this now. Is that going to make a difference or not? Does it help me? To be honest with you, I think out aloud. I've always been the same. Sometimes I'll be walking down the street almost talking to myself, and you'll get one of those bloody annoying joggers that will jog past you with a smile on their face as if to say, yeah, you're crazy. I've got a little bit of ADHD, so my brain tends to overthink things anyway sometimes. So when I'm talking about it, it helps me. Sometimes, if it's like reading. I prefer to read out aloud. It goes in my head better. So sometimes when I hear what I'm thinking, I tend to hear it a little bit better, if that makes sense. And obviously my thought process, if it helps you guys, if you've got a similar thought on a certain trade, then, maybe it helps you guys. But yeah, I've always been a bit of an out loud thinker. It is just thinking out loud, isn't it? So yeah, it does help me talking about it. Because sometimes I don't sort of listen to myself, but if I hear it, rather than think it, it tends to stick in my brain a little bit. I'm what you might call a freak of nature. Yeah, I just don't like what this is doing at the moment. Very slowly. It's not a strong market for buyers at the moment. I'm not saying it's not going to change, but it goes up a bit, goes a bit sideways, goes up, and it's struggling. So I think we need a break really before we get any more buyers in. And I just don't like any of this at the moment. If we get a break here and retest these, a couple of legs, then we may encourage some more buyers in there. And if we do that on the NQ, then hopefully if this follows, it may give us a couple of legs back and then maybe another option to go long. But you never know. Sometimes things just all of a sudden rocket up. But sometimes the slower it goes up, the quicker it comes down. Like somebody mentioned, black ice, exponential. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't see it, but all of a sudden, whoop, you're down. That's actually a good way of describing exactly what I'm thinking. I think we need a break here. Come on, let's have a break. And the score, it was a good experience, but the problem is that sometimes, sometimes when I know what you're saying. I had the Discord on here a couple of times, and to describe it, sometimes when you are focusing and reading things, I just have a little flick at the comments now and again. If I'm not thinking of trading here, I'll just flick literally just to the right of just to the left of my eyes. So I'll just have a little flick over, but okay, so here's that break, hopefully. But the trouble is, what concerns me is trading without the stream, because what I will say is when traders are watching you trade, I mean at the moment there's 53 of you lot in here, when people are watching you don't want to mess up. So I like the fact that adds a little bit of pressure on me, just to sort of look good, if you like, just to when I take my trades, and I kind of like that there's that little bit of accountability. Because sometimes, we all succumb sometimes to lack of patience and maybe being a bit tired. But I kind of like the fact that I've got that. It's closed in there. So we've had 2 push down. It's still closed within this. So there is a failure there, but that's just too far up there for me. It's too close to the highs, too far from the MA. So that's a no-no. But it may work. Sometimes even, poor positions sometimes just work. And that's how it gets you. It's just gone way too far to think about going along there. Too close to the highs, gone way too far. So there's nothing, unfortunately. It's a shame. I would like to see a couple of legs. I'd like to see this come back a bit. It's gone too far, hasn't it, really? We need a pullback. I mean, it could go without us, but that's the nature of the beast, and sometimes it just goes without you. I mean, with a push-up and 2 legs of correction, my guess is, and I'd say, quite likely, it's a lot more likely it's going to go up than come down. But the trouble is, because, most of us trade pats, or a lot of us trade pats, we have our stops very tight. So if I took that long, my stop over there, so there's no room for manoeuvre really. So you've got to take that setup just as we get a nice strong, it's almost like we've lit the fuse and we're ready to take off, and you've got to find a really good platform to take off from. So if we have 2 legs down and a nice solid bar there, a lot of the times now I don't even take those. I wait for the higher low. I wait for that a lift off and then just catch it as it takes another breath. But that's just too far, really. And it hasn't triggered anyway, so, but look at this, it's clearly getting congested. We need a break here for sure, because it's not an area you really want to buy, is it? This could be a push-up. Yeah, I'd like to maybe drop down here, flush out a couple of longs, and then maybe trap a few shorts, and then we have another leg up, but we've got a bit of a break here, so we had to at some point. I'd like to see it come down to the EMA, or better yet, nick here, and then push up above the EMA. Then I would think then, okay, then that might be the way up. But I just don't like this at the moment. It's danger, danger. Stranger danger. So we got a leg up, 2 legs back, or a second entry long, then a higher low. Then that will interest me to get in there. So we may get something. I do like what I'm seeing so far. It's quite clear. We got a nice leg up, 2 nice legs of correction. A first little leg up. I expect something else, but it's got to come back here and give us something attractive really before we get in. Draw a trend channel with 3 touches. 3 touches, right? Were you on about this thing here? No? In all fairness, this channel, I think, is a possibility. Then usually what I'll do, if it touches 3 times, then I'll add some colour. So at the moment, it's an area of interest. But yeah, really, we're supposed to have 3 points. But another reason why I like it is because we've had a leg up and we've had a 2-legged correction and we've started to push up. So that's another reason that I think that there is a bigger channel there. But we've had a leg up. For me, we need a couple of legs back, another small correction again, and then a leg up. But it's looking bullish. We've had this big drop initially, then we had 2 legs up, then we had 2 legs back, and we've retested this bottom once, twice, 3 times, and then it's up, out of the top, 2 legs back, and up we go from there. So it's looking like a bullish market now. I like what we see there. We've had 2 legs up. We've had 2 attempts to go lower, which is touched this 3 times now, and off we go. We break out the top, 2 legs back, and then woof. So 2 legs back. I can see more upwards. It's just where it goes from here, here, or here. Yeah, basically, yeah, from the bottom of the range, it's basically gone on. I have tried just to see if there was anything there, but it's not terrible, actually, so that may be an option. In fact, it might actually be a better option. Regardless of how you do it anyway, that to me is a touch, I think. Let's have a look. You probably could do it like that. In fact, that actually doesn't look too bad, I don't think. So you could say 3 times. Yeah, maybe. But on a smaller scale, we've got a leg up with 2 legs of correction, so we'll see. So maybe we're getting these 2 legs down here. So I like the fact what we've done there. That's a good sign. Trouble is, it could trigger you. We got a leg down, it could trigger you and come down to test this. So going long here will be risky. I want 2 attempts to go lower before I go long. Yeah, that's the trouble. I mean, I wouldn't take that personally. I tend to not take, if we get 2 legs down, I tend to not take that one anymore. I find sometimes it depends how it looks. I mean, if it's in the middle of a channel and we get 2 legs back to here, it's fine. But as we've had a break from this, I never take this. I usually wait for the higher low because it just stops you getting trapped. Because if you take it here and it triggers you, comes down, you've lost a trade. If you wait for the higher low, chances are that it is continuing on up. Yeah, no, it's a fair comment, mate. This looks like a trappy area to me. And this is a little break, so I'd like to see a couple of attempts to go lower, but sometimes it does just trigger and off it trots. But I wouldn't take that personally. I like the fact where it's took off from, but for me, it looks like a bit of a weak position. And sometimes these weaker positions can suck you in and then stop you straight out, and then 2 legs back and off we go. So for me, it's too risky. If it gets above here, maybe this lower high, then happy days. But sometimes it'll do that. It'll give you a little teaser. Follow me. And sometimes it closes there and you get another bar, and that gives you a little teaser. So if, come on, you've missed the first one, let's jump in. I see it all the time, and then it drops. So it almost sucks in longs. Let's see if we do it here. Let's see if it finishes around about here and it starts to push a bit again, and then all of a sudden drops. Excuse me a sec. Okay. Bearish bar here, so that to me looks like the start of 1, 2 legs down. I'd like to see that trigger and come down. So that to me would be more riskier now, seeing this. Having said that, it might trigger that and push up, so it may hold, but for me, I'd like to see another attempt coming down a bit. Let me think. It could be 1, 2, 3. It could be a triple test, but I don't like it. I am much better at just looking at something now without having to work out what it's doing, and just I get that feeling I either like it or I don't. But if you're in that trade, you probably wouldn't have much hope. Let's see what happens here. So we got a push up. 1 attempt lower, 2nd attempt lower, 2 legs. I'd like to come back to here, and if we do, that's a no-no. We had a quick drop and then a quick turn, so let's see what happens there. Leg. The one thing it's got going for it is it's hugging the top of that EMA. That's the one thing that may hold it, but for me, I'd like to see it come and test this. So you just never know. Let's have a look, see if it holds. No, yeah, I didn't think so. So 1 leg back, 2nd leg back. We needed a break. It's struggling to get higher, so let's see how far this will come down. Does that though, doesn't it? It sucks you in. Come on, follow me. You're going to miss out, and all of a sudden it gives you a bunch of chances, and you think by the end, oh, I don't want to miss it, and you jump in all of a sudden, woof, like that. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So leg up, 2 legs of correction. 1st attempt higher, 2 legs back. Let's see if we get another push. So if I'm looking for a higher low in a minute before I think about going long. So we've had a touch, a touch, a touch, and a touch. That's a good sign. Sure whether this is maybe a bit of an overshoot, I don't know. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. See, it is possible, because it's struggling there for buyers, it could just come tumbling down. But I'd like to think, so leg and a leg, so that's a positive. So there you go. So we've had 2 nice legs back. Nice little 2 legs back. You draw it as an overshoot. Yeah, there is a possibility. The bit that's making me not too concerned is the fact that that does look like a channel with a break, so I'd expect that. Well, maybe not. But yeah, it could be an overshoot. It's hard to say, really. I wouldn't take this anyway. I'd only take a higher low. So, and it's got to look right on here. See, that looks like a channel that's working okay. It's not the best looking channel. It's quite wide, but it's very steep. That's what makes them look a little bit fake almost. It's a very steep channel, considering how wide it is. I mean, I'd prefer that a little bit more like that. I mean, you could say just widen it, but maybe one of those days today. Okay, that's encouraging. 2 touches. Oh, excuse me, just 1 second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, so we've had 2 touches and it's bounced. So we want a higher low before it goes too much further. Let's see a slow push up and faster low. Pure price action. Yeah. Okay, possible failure. It's not something I'm in the market for at the moment. At the moment, we're working off this line and it kind of does look bullish. So I like to see that trigger. Okay, it has. So 2 legs down and a higher low. It's just something I don't like about this picture. It's not filling me full of confidence at the moment because we've got a little channel down here with a break. We could come down and make a new low. We could come back in the channel. This to me is just a bit unclear. We've had multiple attempts to push high and we've really struggled. It's just not. There's just no one wants to seem to buy here. So going long here at the moment is just making me think this is just not the best time. I would have to wait for a failure further on up, and this would have to look right. It's kind of why I like this, because at the moment this is just looking like it's struggling to do anything bar struggle to go up and a little bit sideways. So this just for me is a no-no at the moment. Unfortunately, I was hoping we would. A couple of legs back, a push up, 2 legs back, higher low, and off we go. But it's just not materialising at the moment. Fortunately, I know. I'm just joining here. Have you reloaded? Yes, I have, bud. Chart looked different. Already loaded mine. Yeah, I don't know, mate. Sometimes it does go. Let's try it again. See if it helps. I don't understand the theory behind it, really. I know we do it, and Max says to do it, but it's, you know, sometimes with you know, the data finding its way to various places of the world from the servers, you know, if it finishes a sort of a fraction of a second difference between one trader's PC and another, it could make a, you know, a bit of a difference, but we'll see. Has it reloaded? Yeah. Is that any better? Any clearer? Actually, let me have a look at that now. Oh, that's gone. I wonder what was going on there. I bloody hate it when it does that. So, I mean, it could continue on up from there, but what I'm seeing at the moment is just not filling me. Small channel with a break. Maybe one of those days today, guys. Might just be a frustrating day. Okay, so that bar is closed, still within that line. Let's see what happens here. There's a bit of a channel there with a break, so maybe it's attempting to make a new low, which is it's concerning me. I don't know if there's anything else we can see there, possibly. Maybe that's a better channel, and this is a break. We touch there. Not too bad along the tops. Touch there. So maybe just a break. Yeah, I'm still not a massive fan of this. It's a little better than it was, I think. Was it different? I don't know. Did I have it any different? I think I had it closer to that, didn't I? So we've had this little channel there with a break, so maybe a leg and a leg. It's hard to say, but this is just not looking like it wants to go up at the moment. We'll see. So taking a long here for me at the moment is just a bit of a no-no, because it just may sting you and come down. This could completely topple. It's really struggled to push higher. So maybe it just needs a little bit more of a pullback to encourage buyers to get back in, or maybe just buyers aren't interested at the moment. I don't know. Okay, so if you consider that little channel with a break, it has made a new low, so we've made a little double bottom there, so maybe that's the way up. We shall see. So it may still hold here, but then it would have to be a failure a bit further up, really. I want this going up above the EMA, really, before I even consider going long on here. Because you could get quite easily shafted. At 10 days loaded, it made a huge difference when I changed to 3 days. I think I have 7 days, actually. Yeah, it depends on how quick your system. What system have you got? What PC have you got, Kev? What's your processor and your RAM and that, and your graphics card as well? That can all make a difference. Oh, Intel 9. God, you should go like a rocket, mate. Let's have a look. How many days do I have? Let me have a look. 7 days I got loaded. GPU, 1660 GPU. Apparently, Ninja Trader is quite... try 20 days. Ninja Trader is quite... What's the word? Greedy when it comes to GPUs. I've got an NVIDIA 2060. So yours is the one down. So, see, when I started, I just bought a cheap graphics card, very cheap. It was about £70. And part of the reason why I bought it was because it had 4 inputs for 4 monitors. I didn't think we needed anywhere near a graphics card, but once I started opening more than one chart, wow, we certainly did. So I think you need a little bit more powerful graphics card than you think. I don't think you need nothing nowhere near a gamer stand. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? 1 terabyte, yeah. SSD's more than enough. I mean, 250, 500 is all right, really. But if you got an i9, that's plenty quick enough. It depends how many charts you have open. My experience is once you get more than one chart open, that's where your graphic card plays a little bit more than the part. I mean, you got a faster processor than me. I got a Ryzen 7 3800X, 64 gig of DDR4 RAM, and a 2060. You only got one chart. I don't know. Are you wiping your cache clear every night? Are you? And YouTube, yeah. I mean, I've got this chart. How many charts have I got? I got this chart on one screen, this chart on another screen. I've got OBS, I've got YouTube, and I've got the other various bits and pieces, Replicanto and all that. So, okay, yeah. What you want to do? How's the best way I can show you it? How can I show you it? Okay, let me see if I can just open it. So it's called Apex Desktop Assistant. Let me see if it'll open. It might not. There we go. Apex, if I can bring this into place. There you go. Apex Desktop Assistant. And if you click Ninja Trader Toolkit, I won't do it. Click 9. I've got to shut it down first. I didn't think it'd do that. What it does is it wipes and clears all your cache, because if it gets clogged up, if you've not done it, that's why your machine's running, that's why your system's running slow. I do that at the end of every day, and it wipes all your cache clear. Yeah, just get it from the Apex website. Just put Apex Invest in Desktop Assistant, I think it's called. Just install it and then just go into that, and it's straightforward. But that clears all your cache from your system every day. So yeah, if you took a long there, triggered you, stopped you out. This is unclear at the moment, as is this. Ninja Trader has a good habit of getting rid of our cache anyway, does it? I don't know. So you mean, yeah. It certainly does, mate. Yeah, it is. It is quite efficient at stripping away cache, isn't it? But yeah, what can I do here? But yeah, it does clog up your your system. I didn't know about it up until maybe 6 months ago, and I watched the Daryl Martin video that said to download it and clear your cache. I know some do every few days or every week. I just tend to do it automatically as part of the end of my shutdown. I mark my charts up. I set my stream for tomorrow. I save all my charts. And then that's the last thing I do before I shut down and go and get drunk on whiskey. So how are you doing, Sam? Anyway, you back trading yet, bud? Are you or not? Thomas Wade topic uses 21 days. Yeah, I don't know why 21 days. Yeah, I don't know. I have never cleared my... Have you not? Yeah, you should do. Yeah, trading. Good on you, mate. Good on you. It's good to get back in the saddle, isn't it? Yeah. No, I do mine it every day. I used to do it once a week, but then I heard someone say they do it every day, so I thought, well, it takes half a minute. Hopefully put an update video in at some point. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I was hoping you wouldn't stay away for too long. I don't know sometimes whether you stay away from reading the charts every day, whether you get a bit rusty. I don't know. Maybe. They've had some good offers on lately, actually. 90% on 1 day to pass. That's the first time we've ever seen that. At the moment, 80% 1 day to pass. So, I mean, that 90%, I was in shock when I saw that. On 1 day to pass. You're on a PA, good on you, mate. Slow and steady. It is hard. Do you know what? What I found, and this is my experience, when you trade it every day and you have a winning day, everything feels great. Your confidence level is right at the top. And then when you have a loss, you just get that. One's fine, mate. I think that's perfect. In all fairness, it doesn't make sense getting multiple ones until you can get one to pay. The more accounts you have, the more stress it is. And if you're struggling with that level, then I think it just goes against you. So I think one's a good number to start with. But yeah, when everything's working fine, it feels great you're on top of the world. But when you take a loss or something goes wrong, usually for me, it's not so much a loss. It's when I take a trade that I think I shouldn't have really taken that. I have that little voice inside that says, it's not the best setup. But when your patience goes, that's when I start to struggle emotionally. But if I lose a trade that I thought was a genuine setup, I'm okay with those. So it is tough. You've just got to try and set these things in motion to get away from the computer. If you can, that's the worst part for us. If you can get that emotional part intact, the rest is for me is just is more of a formality. Sean, where did you get that download from? Apex Toolkit off the Apex website, mate. I can't remember whether it was the Apex investing side of it. But what I would do is just on one of the Apex Facebook groups, just say, where do I get the Apex desktop assistant? You can do it yourself if you go into here and then go into Ninja Trader, and then I think you go into DB channel, and there is another way you can do it. But I do like to do it this way. It's nice and quick. It does it all for you. So just have a look on the website. Just frequently ask questions or something, and failing that, just ask on the on one of the Facebook groups. Okay, so we've had this 2 legs of correction and a push up, and had this. So I'm not sure what's going on here at the moment. Maybe that's 2 legs down, and we're going to push higher. It's possible, but it's a frustrating day. Well, it's not frustrating, but it's just a awkward day, shall we say, today. They don't bother me so much anymore. Right? It is what it is. Some days you just get days that are easy, and some days where it's just bouncing all over the place. So maybe a couple of legs back, and then we're going to push up. God only knows. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's have a look. See if I can find it for you. That's the kind of guy I am. Apex. See if I can find it. Yeah, it may be in. I'll go back to the main page. Missed it. It may be in. Let me have a look. Tools. Maybe this is in tools. There is some interesting articles here. Excuse me. This is the tools. What was I going to mention? Is your computer fast enough? That's an interesting read. Daryl Martin talks. There's a video which shows you about how to check your computer and how to test this, and what's a fast computer and what's not. So is it in here somewhere? Maybe not. No. Let me have a look. No, I can't remember, to be honest with you, bud. What I would do is just ask them to just drop on the Facebook group, how do I get the desktop assistant which clears all your cache? That's what it says, Karina, does it? Still not fixed. They are testing. Oh dear. Why'd you have to be the bearer of bad news, Karina? Karina has to spoil it for us all. It's your fault, Karina. You've put us all in a bad mood now. Oh dear. Oh dear. Karina's ruined our day. I think Nintrade is more CPU bound. Is it really? I did read somewhere that it does suck up a lot of in fact, let me check my CPU. How do I do it? How do you check how do you check it? How do you check what it's constantly using at the moment? Is it system? No. Anybody know what I type in here? So check my system. Second entry short. Control Alt Delete, is it? Oh, Task Manager, of course it is, yeah. Task Manager. I have a feeling 2 legs back, we're going to push up now. So let's have a look. Performance. Yeah, this is my performance here. So it's not using a lot, actually. I've got lots of stuff open. CPU is only using 7%, 6% of memory. GPU 40, 20, 30%, 40%, something like that. And I've got 4 screens with all sorts of stuff all over it, so that's not too bad, actually. Yeah, my CPU can more than handle that. And the graphics card as well. It's a 2060. It seems to be floating around the 30, 35 on average, something like that. So that's interesting. Using 3. Yeah, it's not a lot, is it? Yeah, a couple of screens open. The GPU is, I don't know, maybe a third of the way there, something like that. How many charts have I got up? I've got the ES, the NQ, I've got the daily ES and the 10,000 ES. So I've got 4 charts, so it's comfortable with mine anyway, so that's okay. I'll tell you exactly what NinjaTrader was doing, is it really? So look there. NinjaTrader, so GPU, yeah, under 5%, around about 3-4%, something like that. Very low. So yeah, it's not using much at all, actually. Rhythmic, what's Rhythmic using? Same again, very low. OBS Studio, moderate. Oh, it's power, sorry, yeah, very low. Yeah, everything's very low, so my machine can more than cope with this. So that's interesting anyway. What is going on here? It is holding here, so that's a good sign. But we've had that bullish bar and it's triggered and it's coming down, so you may be right about the short. This may just be coming back into the range. Do you know what? This is frustrating me now. I'm done for the day. I think I've done. Where am I? A few seconds under 3 hours. That's me done for the day, I think. I'm not interested at the moment in this market. It's just, it's hard to work out. This looks like, I thought after that we were off to the races, but yeah, it's just not very nice. It's a bit yucky, isn't it? So I don't know what's going on. It's a tough day anyway. So yeah, pretty little use here, Sam. That bullish bar's pushed up there. We've bounced off that measured leg and it's triggered and come straight back down. I think if it goes below there, it's into the range. So it's not often we don't have a trade for the day, but you know, I'm more than happy to go away on zero. It means I haven't lost my patience and I've done my job. My job is to find setups, and in all fairness, failing that one, yeah, it's coming in, isn't it? That one, I think was an okay trade actually. It wasn't necessarily a Pat's trade, but we got a leg up with 2 clear legs back. And as we've had the breakout at the top, often we come back here. So a tick above, tick below, it's a 0.5 risk, so that's pretty small. So that's the type of trade the gorilla guy used to take. A leg up, 2 legs of correction. He used to ride it, and he'd have done well out of that. He'd have taken that up. He'd have let it go till that swing, then that swing, then that swing, and then that one. So he'd have got in that for 10 points. So there you go. You don't have a GPU, no? How many screens you got open? How many charts? Just one chart? Seriously, double top. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. So, that's me done for the day. So, it is Wednesday, so I'll be back tomorrow. I got no issues with not taking a trade. It is what it is. Sometimes it is. So that's me done. Bit of a odd looking day today. It didn't make a great deal of sense. You know, it didn't quite do. I expected that to push up, but then it was just having nothing. And if you looked on the NQ, it just really wasn't. Buyers just weren't picking anything up. They just weren't really interested. So maybe we got this leg. Maybe by the end of the day, maybe we'll have something like that. I don't know, maybe a leg and a leg. Who knows? But that's me done for the day. So I appreciate all your comments. Nice to see you back, Sam. And I'll be back same time tomorrow. So if you're carrying on trading, always a pleasure to speak to you too, bud. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get something in the way of a setup. But failing that, I will see you tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll chat tomorrow. Bye for now.